Hi, I'm Amanda Easton, and my organization is ConAgraFoods, Inc. It is based out of Omaha, Nebraska, and it employs about 26,000 people. It's a food organization with consumer and commercial brands. The consumer brands are things such as Chef Boyardee, Banquet Foods, Marie Collinger's Frozen Foods, Peter Pan peanut butter, and those things are produced and manufactured through ConAgra and sent out to grocery stores and other retailers to be bought by us, the consumer. And then there's also the commercial brands in which they sell frozen potatoes and they manufacture grains and they have spices and things like that are produced, and we supply restaurants and other food services so that they can then make food and provide it to their customers. But when looking at this organization in terms of a crisis, there are a lot of things to take into consideration. But first, let us take into consideration intentional versus unintentional crisis. An intentional crisis is something that the organization could have prevented. So, let's say risk management issues or embezzlement or false advertising, things like that. And something that is unintentional is to say that the organization couldn't really prevent it from happening. A hurricane or a disease outbreak, things like that, that they really just need to be prepared for as much as possible in ways to, keep their employees and their publics as safe as they possibly can. And we're going to look at a few different crises that ConAgra and other organizations similar have faced for us to talk about what they can do to prevent this from happening or to contain it at most. The first one I think is the one that's most a high risk for them, and that is salmonella outbreak. They've had quite a few outbreaks in the past, and they've handled it pretty well, but what they really just need to do is continue to check for those outbreaks. And salmonella is probably going to happen. There's so many brands and things under this umbrella of ConAgra, but what they really, really need to do is just be prepared to handle it, to find that source, to recall it as soon as possible so that they can contain it, and then to be completely transparent with the public about everything that's going on. Because, salmonella is not necessarily something you can always control, and doing as many healthy and safety checks as possible. But other than that, really, they just need to be able to handle it once it actually happens. The next thing that we'll talk about is something that's happened a lot around the world recently, and mainly in Middle Eastern countries, but there have been riots, outbreaks. The KFC was actually burned down because of religious tension about Western products being sold in predominantly Islamic countries. And ConAgra, because they have so many different manufacturing sites and they sell all over the world, need to be really aware of this. They need to be open with those publics in the Islamic countries and catering to them and providing for them, knowing, this is what we're doing, this is our job, we're just trying to sell you these food items that are healthy and quality, and just keep that communication really open with them. And at the same time, they need to ensure the safety of their employees in these other countries, and evacuation, and go over plans like that, because anything could truly happen and riots could always break out, and they just need those companies and organizations over there to be 100% prepared for that. The next thing that we're going to look at is environmental concern issues, and that is something that ConAgra has been beaten down against in the media because they haven't really had the best in green manufacturing. What they really just need to continue to do is to just scan the media, scan legislation, talk to NGOs, and really constantly be trying to do the best that they can to truly advance their production and manufacturing of these items so that they can provide the best for our planet, and it's something so easy that they could kind of not have to deal with. And finally, this has happened to them. They had a plant explosion from Slim Jim. And it's something that they just need to continue to have safety regulations, talk to their contractors beforehand. It's something that is very unintentional, but they need to ensure that their employees can be healthy and safe and secure in the environment, and they need to know what to do in case that were to ever happen again. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I hope you got a great little brief synopsis of what ConAgra is up against.